Hi, I'm Rodney. Today I'm going to be ranking all of the albums by the band The Strokes. I'm pretty familiar with The Strokes at this point. I've gotten a fair listen of all of their records, and I decided that I'm going to make a tier list of what I think of their records. I didn't really give too much thought going into this, so I'm kind of just winging it as I go. But I think we should just get right into it with First Impressions of Earth. Now, honestly, I really like this album. It has some of my favorite songs on it by The Strokes, just overall, two of them, I'd say. This is, generally speaking, a pretty good album. Um, but there are some weaker tracks on it. There are, unfortunately, there's good songs, and then there's some just decent songs, such as like I'm not a very big fan of Evening Sun or Electricity Scape, but there are songs like Eyes of the World and You Only Live Once, Red Light, tracks such like those. They really, I really like this record. I think it's a good record. I think it's a little bit hated on. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in A tier. And when ranking these, however close they are to the letter is like also like the order that they go in. So, say if I put both of these albums in A, but that one's closer, then this one would be better than that one, even though they're in the same tier. Okay, anyways, moving on to Room on Fire. This might be the best Strokes album, honestly. I know that Is This It is often praised as their best album, perfection and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, it's a really good album, but I think Room on Fire did everything that it did, if not better. And it just has extremely catchy songs, some very nice, meaningful lyrics, some of my favorite songs that the Strokes have ever put out. I think it's a really good record overall. I don't have much more else to say about it. This is going an S. It's a pretty easy S tier for me. So moving on to Angles. Angles is it's a good record. It has some really good bangers on it, like Undercover of Darkness, Machu Picchu, Games, etc. But it's not a perfect record. I don't think I'd say that I like it more than First Impressions of Earth. There are some really good songs on it, but there are some other songs that just sound a little wonky to me. They sound a little unnatural, not really like I don't know, like the riffs and the drums, sometimes they just sound a little clunky, but that's just on a couple songs. Overall, I think the record is pretty good. It's not a bad record. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in B tier, which I think I think is fair. Okay, I think that's fair. So on to Come Down Machine. I think this is a really good record. I think it is extremely overhated by the Strokes, I don't know, listening community or whatever you'd want to call it. But honestly, I see this album getting shit on like a lot, and I can kind of understand why, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't get it because I think this is a good record. I really enjoy this record. I don't find much wrong with it. There are a few songs that sound the same. There's like two songs that sound rather similar to me, but that's a pretty niche complaint. Overall, it's a pr I okay, I think it has some good songs on it, but sometimes I gotta say that the mixing is a little questionable. It is a it's pretty difficult to understand and hear the vocals on some of the tracks over the instrumentals and whatever. But overall, I think this is a good record. I really like this record, and I'm gonna put it in A tier, and I'm gonna put it above First Impressions of Earth. So, moving on to this tiny little album. Honestly, I consider this like an EP. It only has a few songs on it, but the songs that are on it are genuinely really good. I really like this little, I'm just going to call it an EP. I like this EP. There's Thread of Joy and What's the other song that I really like on it? Okay, can't remember. Who cares? But yeah, Thread of Joy. There's Drag Queen, I believe, is on that little EP. It is overall, it's a short, it's sweet, doesn't really have any misses on it. I like it. It is, hmm, it's going an A tier, in between Come Down Machine and First Impressions of Earth. Okay, is this it? This is a really good album, a bunch of catchy songs on it. Um, I don't have many complaints about this album. It is just overall a good album. I like just about everything about it. But the only issue is I like everything on Room on Fire more than Is This It. There are some really, really good songs like obviously like the title track Is This It, Alone Together, Barely Legal. All the songs really good. Most of this album is really, really good, but it just I don't know, it does not really top Room on Fire, but still, honestly, I put it in S tier because it's honestly just it's a classic album. It's a really good album. I don't really have many complaints to say about that. Um, so moving on to the New Abnormal. Okay, this is their most recent album, and honestly, it kind of surpassed my expectations. There are banger upon banger upon banger tracks on this album. From Why Are Sundays So Depressing to The Adults Are Talking, which was a huge hit, a smashing hit, to Ode to the Mets and Selfless. There are just so many absolutely killer tracks on this record. Honestly, I kinda want to put it above Room on Fire, but I don't think I can because there are some weaker songs. There's not a bad song on this project, but there are some weaker songs like Brooklyn Bridge to Chorus. I don't know. I'm not that crazy about that song. It's not bad by any means, but I don't know. There are definitely better tracks on the album. And so honestly, I'm putting this in S tier as well, but I'm putting it above Is This It? And I feel like that's a little I don't know. That might be a little bit controversial. I don't know how people would like compare these three albums like with each other. I know that it's pretty common that Room on Fire and Is This It are pretty close together in like ranking wise. But yeah, generally speaking, The Strokes, they're a good band. It is a good band that makes good music, and they don't really have a bad album. Even the lowest album that I put on this list, it is good. There are just a few spots on the album that I have a few complaints about, but other than that, it an overall pretty good discography. I am a pretty big fan of, just about everything they make, and that's basically all I have to say about this. So this has been the Strokes tier list, and that's it.